So I got to have a back and forth communique with the director of both Livescream and Livescreamers. Her name is Michelle, and her last name, not even going to try. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't want to butcher it. I'm sorry.
So, something. Anyway, so I had told her that I was looking forward to actually watching both because Livescreamers is a sequel to Livescream. And she was like, hey, do you want me to send you a Blu-ray for reviewing? And I was like, yeah, but I need to watch Livescream first, which I've been wanting to watch anyway, so that'll, kind of push me into doing it. And she was like, hell, I'll just send you both on Blu-ray. So she included both the first and the second.
Thank you.
So that was pretty badass. And then she also threw in a little picture from the new one to put up on the wall. And then a little postcard here with a handwritten message. Yeah. It's private, though. You guys can't know what it says. No,
super
it was
private.
very sweet.
Thank you.
And then a little press kit. So, yeah. So the first one is currently streaming on Tubi. Mm-hmm. And the second one is available to rent on VOD. So these are both found footage. More like Screen Life or laptop horror, whichever one you prefer. I coined the term laptop horror, but it seems like Screen Life is the agreed upon
term
subgenre, which is fine. That one works too. So this is about, so the first one, we're going to talk about both of them really quick. So the first one is about a live streamer who gets this new game. He's going to play it for his subscribers or followers. And once he starts playing the game, he finds out that the consequences in the game have no reset button.
Yeah.
Right? They start hurting his audience and potentially him. So he has to really buckle down and play his best game. I didn't care for the first one, but I do want to preface that by saying, I should have said it before if I was going to preface it. Shut up. I should have said, every problem I had with Livescream, which I told you while we were watching it, which is that he buys it too early, and I didn't find it to be believable that he buys that this is real. I just didn't think there was anywhere near enough evidence.
Yeah.
And because he's carrying the whole film by himself, it's literally, which is really, I don't know where the cuts are. I would be curious to ask Michelle. I'm sure she'll be watching this, so you can comment. Was that all in one take? Because I don't remember. I'd have to go back and rewatch to see if there was any places for cuts. But it's like a continuous stream of just him in the corner.
Yeah.
And then the game is 75% of the screen, and he's 25% of the screen. And I don't remember ever cutting away from him once. So if that is just one continuous shot for a movie that has a very small budget, and you're already probably putting most of your effort and most of your budget towards the video game, because we're watching a video game that the creators made through Unreal Engine, right? So they actually designed a game for both this one and the next one. That's impressive. I mean, that right there puts this kind of in a league of its own, where I've never seen anything like it within found footage, within the subgenre, right? It's usually just people out in the woods screaming. But with this one, it's literally and we've seen live streamers, right? We've seen Deadstream, and we've seen this before, and we've seen people on laptops plenty with Unfriended and The Den and whatever. But I've never seen a video game that they're playing in a found footage film like this, which is a really great concept, but you have to have the know-how. You have to be able to have the people or the knowledge of how to make this work. Now, another problem that I had with the first one that they fixed in the second, they pretty much fixed every problem I had in the second one, is the first one, I didn't like the game I didn't like the
Yeah,
gameplay.
you weren't a fan of the
I
games.
thought all the gameplay, all of that stuff made no sense. It was like not a game to me at all. It was like as cheap as it got. It didn't seem alluring or interesting, or like it didn't seem like a gamer needed to beat it.
To be fair, though, you are very much like not a fan of indie games in general. I didn't have a problem with any of the games in the first one. I think that I've seen tons of streamers that play, like low budget horror games are really popular for people to play online and for their audience. So I bought into all of that, and I actually quite like that like each level is a different style of indie game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really cool
That
and
is
very
cool.
creative.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like, as far as like the first one goes, I like that it is an actual stream and that we get to see, him, the main character, the streamer, interacting with his audience. And, that's something that we actually talked about recently because we reviewed the movie Stream, which is also supposed to have like a live stream aspect that is not used at all in that.
No.
And so I really appreciate that it's done here in the first one. That's not something that happens in the second one.
They're like pre-recording it.
It's a pre-recorded, event or whatever that they're doing, which makes sense and I understand. And I think it is fine because in that context, we have more characters and they're all in the room with each other. So
Why don't you tell them what the second one's about?
the second one is about basically a channel of live streamers, gamers that are all kind of, like famous like live streamers, and they have one of their fans who I don't remember if I think she donates is what it is. She like reaches like some donation tier for a charity event that they're doing, so she gets invited on to like a recording session to play a game with them. And the game that they end up playing is this is the same. It's not the same one because it's a new game, but I think it's supposed to be the same software. Like that's what I thought was happening, is that like it's the game is evil and it like kind of can present as different games to like entrap people. So anyway, they're all in one room recording. They have like a recording studio, and they all have like their computers and everything set up, and so whatever happens in the game, like the consequences are like immediately seen.
Yeah, it's very obvious.
Yeah.
And that's how they were able to fix the issue. And I think Michelle probably got a lot of feedback. Or she herself watched it and was like, okay, next time I want to do it this way because it'll make more sense and it won't cut down on the believability of things, right? So the concept of like having them all in the same room together so that you can see them dying.
Yeah.
So you can see them like getting cut across the face or whatever happens in the game that happens to them in real life. It's very obvious because they're in the same room together.
Yeah.
Right. And that to me fixes all the issues that I have with that. And then as far as the game has much better graphics, which I don't even really care about the graphics, but the gameplay actually feels like somewhat actual gameplay. So that helped as well. And then we also have like a multitude of characters.
Yes.
I don't love them all, but I don't think I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
But I thought the second one was like exponentially better than the first. I thought that it was kind of like they remade the first one and just fixed all of its issues.
Yeah, I didn't hate the first one. I actually liked the main character's performance.
I don't hate the
think
first
that
one.
it's hard to carry, like, you're by yourself basically. Like we get a few people that are like shown on screen, but they don't have any speaking lines. It's all, written dialogue between like people in the chat and then him reacting to it. So I don't think he did a bad job at all. I think it's a hard like concept to go with in general. I would say for that, the only thing that I think would make it maybe more entertaining or more like if there was more followers, either whether he only has like 200 to start, but then like as he keeps playing, like people are like, oh my god, like they start jumping into the stream, so that there's like more people watching and more going on in the chat. I think that would probably give like a little bit of an ante for that. But with the second one, my big criticism, I suppose, is that it isn't like a live stream. I think it makes sense. It's not like it doesn't work, because tons of like, obviously so many channels do that where they pre-record gameplay and then they edit it. Like there's nothing wrong with that concept. I think it totally makes sense. But because it's Livescreamers, like I would also like to see the
For it to be
chat,
live.
like, because it's fun. Like I really like that, aspect.
So I disagree with her, and I think that you made the right choice, because I would assume what you thought for a few different things. But number one is that it would just be too much. It'd be too busy. That you have like 8 different characters you're trying to follow. They're all trying to talk to each other, over each other, making jokes, going back and forth. There's all the drama. Of course, the secrets come out very unfriended like. And then you're trying to also read all the comments, and they're trying to read the comments. And I think it distracts too much from the camaraderie and the eventual downfall of all of them. Like, yeah, you could add that aspect of the live, because when certain elements of secrets come out, that would like be live.
Right.
And then it's like, oh shit, now everyone knows.
Yeah.
So that would have added to the drama of it. But as I said, I think with as many characters as there is, because when we usually watch stuff that's being live streamed and there's a bunch of text on the screen that we're trying to read, it's usually like a character or two, and they're like interacting back and forth. But like trying to follow 8 characters and read text on the screen as they're talking and they're playing a game and you're trying to follow, it's like
that's a fair point.
It's so much that I feel like you just get lost. That said, you'd have a lot of rewatchability.
Right.
When the texts are coming up, fairly quick, and you go back and you see new comments you never saw before.
Yeah. Well,
so,
and that's also kind of like what, like a live, I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know how many live streamers do that where they're streaming like 8 people all at once. So maybe that isn't like something that's done normally, but that is an aspect of like watching a streamer, is that you have like their chat going on, and you can either like participate in the chat or ignore the chat.
Yeah.
And then like obviously the fun is them responding to things, but I think you could have them respond to things like here and there, like when it's helpful if somebody's giving like oh, I saw this over there, or like whatever. But I think it's also fine like the way that it was set up. But yeah, I think they're both really cool, like, concepts, of course.
Oh,
The
yeah.
live streamers is just really
Super
a very
ambitious.
modern horror. Yeah. Very ambitious, and it was fun. It was I think I was entertained both times, overall.
Yeah, I mean, the movie that I would liken this to the most would be something like a movie that came out, God, this must be almost 20 years old now. It's called Stay Alive, which is like, they go into a video game, and the video game is real. It's a horror movie. So the video game horror movie thing, there are some, but it's a very, very niche subgenre. And one I rather like. I like the idea of like when you play the game, when you die for real. It's like it's like the Matrix, right?
It's like Jumanji.
The body can't survive without the mind.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great, and I think there's a lot of opportunity for like just creativity in general.
So next one, if you have the capability, I would do VR headsets.
Ooh, that would be really cool.
So they would be inside of it.
Yeah.
Right, and then when they try to like take their headsets off, they can't get them off.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And they're like trapped in the game.
Yeah.
And you can call it live screaming.
Live screaming is good.
But anyway, you don't need my fucking advice. You're better at this than I am. But yeah, I had a good time, and I apologize for not even attempting your last name. Where is it again? What is the first one? Is an I?
Ian.
No, Ian. No.
I can't. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Phonetically spell it out in the comments when you write what you want. I want to know how you say this. Tuno. So it's like Iena Tuno. Iena Tuno. I'm going with that. Tana? No, Tuno. Tuno.
I don't know. I'm so sorry. Please tell us.
I think I got it.
That's how you say your name.
She's been like throwing
Thank
up for my pronunciation.
Thank you so much, though. We really appreciate it, and we had a good time, and great work.
Yeah, I want to see a 3.
Yes.
Get on it.
Keep making them.
Yeah, for sure. Great. I mean, to see where it went from the first one to the second one.
Yeah, really good.
If you can elevate it for the third one, you could have a freaking fantastic film on your hands. So, really cool. Thank you so much. And I'm glad to have this in our collection.
Yeah, me too.
So, all right.
Bye.
Let us know if you watch them. See you in the comments. Adios.